Joy Drive.
Theatre, film, TV and more. Suzy Wrong reviews it all on Joy Drive with Em and Warren.
Good afternoon, Suzy Wrong.
Warren, when you texted me last night, I thought you were so annoyed with the homework that I set for you that you were going to scream at me. But actually...
You don't know yet.
But you texted me for a really great reason.
Yes, I texted you to see whether you were watching Four Corners on ABC TV last night, which was titled Blocked. And particularly, I was interested in your views on it as one of our most prominent and respected trans women.
Yeah, for people who didn't see it, it was basically a special about medical access, shall we say, for trans kids in Australia. Was that accurate?
Yeah, I think so, about access to puberty blockers.
Yeah, I think it also involves like counselling and I guess maybe some discussion about surgeries as well. Yeah, what did you think?
Look, when I was watching it, one of the things that really struck me was, these kids need help and should be given that help. It doesn't matter what someone's view is whatsoever, and not put on waiting lists where their lives are at stake. And that really stood out for me. I thought, we're talking about kids here and mental health issues with kids, and we need to address them straight away. We can't make them wait.
Yeah, it was a very well-structured documentary, a well-structured report. I think there were quite a lot of, debating as these shows tend to have. And then it becomes really poignant when the very simple truth that kids do kill themselves over things like that, and then it kind of it just drives it home. It's just like, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. Everybody's got an opinion, like everybody's got an a-hole, right? But it doesn't always...
I love the way you say that. I'm going to quote that out for our Christmas bloopers.
It doesn't all take the same weight. And, there are some people that purport to be medical professionals, but, when they start talking, you just kind of go like, I'm not sure if that science that you're talking about is just your personal feelings about these things. Yeah. It's very simple, really. It's just like, you just got to save these kids. You just got to do what you can to save these kids.
Exactly. And surely anyone with doesn't matter what your view is, should be thinking along those lines. I was pleased to see that the New South Wales government, as a result of the show, will commission a review into the way gender-affirming care is delivered across the state, which is great. And also, I believe the research published by Westmead Hospital, is hopefully going to be reviewed as well.
Yeah, hopefully. For one of the great things about ABC and Four Corners is that it does seem to make things happen.
It does. So does this segment with Suzy Wrong. Trust me.
Look, I like that the show wasn't too kind of black or white, except when it talked about children actually dying. That becomes black or white. But aside from that, I'm not extremely on the one side that you'd imagine me to be. I have strong feelings about trans people and their bodies. I feel like, first of all, I have to say, before all my opinions, people have their rights to whatever they want to do to their own bodies. I believe in body autonomy, your body, your rules, your body, your decisions. But I feel like trans people need to be taught to learn to love their bodies more. And I think that extends to how in families that are, inevitably straight people run these families, right? Because it tends to be mother and father. And just their concepts of what being a girl is and what being a boy is, I think it starts from there, because I think there is a danger that when a child says that, oh, you know what, actually I'm a girl or I'm a boy, even though you say that I'm the opposite. And then, I've never grown up with children like that around me, except for my own experience. I think it's healthy if we just expand our understanding a bit more about what a girl looks like, what a girl is, what a boy looks like, and what a boy is, and kind of try to take the association between your genitals, and your gender identity, and kind of dismantle that a little bit. And I think that would give people a lot more breathing space and a lot more time. There's a lot of anxiety about, my daughter tells me that she's a girl, and then now we have to find ways to keep her body as feminine as possible before she goes into puberty and all that. And I think that's from part of it is that people have really narrow ideas about what a woman's body looks like, what a man's body looks like. And I think aside from, appropriately advocating for all the medical help that these children need, is I think socially we just need to just expand our minds more about what people could look like, and we need to break away from this really old-fashioned, really traditional, really binary ways of thinking. Yeah, rigid thinking ways. All right, you're a woman, you're a man. I love it for you. But, you don't have to look like the man on the front of a sports magazine. You don't have to look like a woman on the front of Women's Day. Yeah, I mean, I hope that makes sense. It's just a really topic that's really close to my heart, obviously.
It is, and it's really good to get your view on it. We always value your view. We're talking about Four Corners. The episode was called Blockers, which was on ABC TV last night. You can catch it on iView, but Suzy Wrong, today we are going to be talking about Glamorous, which is
not quite as serious,
streaming on Netflix. Oh my god, it's polar opposite. Tell us about it, Glamorous.
The series begins with 22-year-old Marco Mejia being plucked from the obscurity of a department store counter to work at a makeup company founded by a supermodel from the 1980s. Glamorous, now streaming on Netflix, is certainly forthright about its interest in the kind of beauty that is only skin deep. A lot of the comedy is about the shallow world of cosmetics and about New York gay life. Marco uses he/him pronouns, but is very feminine in dress and demeanor, so when he begins a relationship with finance bro Parker, things get predictably complicated as they discover that the compatibility doesn't extend beyond the bedroom. So much of Glamorous is so, shall we say, basic, or just clearly aimed at a very young audience, and I must admit to have really hated the first few episodes. Lead actor Miss Benny is hammy and very inexperienced, making the show quite painful to watch, at least until the story extends beyond the central character to include more of the other plot lines and personalities. After about 4 episodes, yes, I persisted for the sake of our Joy Drive family, I found myself slowly getting the hang of it, especially when drama arises from the makeup company possibly being sold to a big corporation. I do love stories about business and corporate cannibalism. There is one big name in Glamorous, and that's Kim Cattrall, who still lives in many queer people's minds as Samantha from Sex and the City. She does an okay job, always reliable at telling a story, but she's never really a warm presence, which is a bit of a shame as she's required to be quite motherly as the matriarch of the makeup company where everyone works. One big plus about Glamorous on Netflix is that straight people and white people are the minority, which is a welcome change for viewers like me who are tired of the same old, same old. I also enjoy the way its antagonists are depicted not completely as stereotypical villains, quite interesting in how their vulnerability and complexities are portrayed. Warren, I'm sure the young people around me are much smarter than that. Is it me, or is the show more than a little bit stupid?
Suzy, what's our homework for next week? Do you know, it was funny because I don't know where to start. I watched 4 episodes, but I reckon I've watched episode 4. I'm up to my 6th attempt at watching it. I don't know what happens. I start watching it. I'm about half an hour in and I'm going, I have no idea what's going on. I'm elsewhere. I'm so disinterested in it. I really am. I'm so disinterested. I'm stuck on episode 4 thinking I just want to get through it so I can talk about it with you today. But I get on the phone, I do other things. That's what it's done to me. I found it really boring, Suzy, to be honest. I think, that the message in it is be ourselves, and I just feel like a show needs to be a bit more than a message to be ourselves. And also, I harp on this a lot. a show that's saying to a gay boy, be yourself, and he's working in a cosmetics makeup company, for me is like another stereotypical thing about gay men. We all want to work in makeup and be makeup artists, and that's great if you do, and there's no disrespect to anyone, no shame on anyone, but not all of us want to do it. So I watch these shows, and I think the challenge I would like to see is a show that says be yourself as a gay man working in perhaps something like an engineering firm or an IT firm where it's heterosexually male dominated, and then that's where we struggle being ourselves. I want to see that. I thought it was bland. I thought it was superficial. It was boring. I was watching Kim Cattrall because I like her, but again, her character wasn't strong. It was kind of a little bit wishy-washy as well.
She looks about the same level of boredom as you had from watching. It looks like it's so unchallenging for her. Look, I agree with what you say, but you know how Kim Cattrall's character, her son is a sort of head of sales in the company, and he's the other kind of gay man, right? Very young, but extremely muscular and kind of like a Hollywood movie star type, but he's gay. So in a way, there are different kinds of gay men being portrayed. I do want to say that it's trying to show how you don't have to be the kind of young man that society expects you to be or traditionally has expected you to be. Like you can be as flamboyant or as feminine as you like.
Yeah.
It does say that, but you didn't get to the end of it, and I'm not really giving a spoiler, but something happens at the end of 10 episodes, really weird. It's out of the blue. There is a revelation that in the next season that the character Marco is transitioning.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't get past episode 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there is no real hint of it. And the only reason why that's happening is because the actor transitioned after filming the show.
Ah, okay. I see.
Yeah. So in order for them to return to the second season, I guess they had to think of a way to explain why the actor suddenly looks completely different. So it is all a little bit slapdash. It's a little bit all random. But similarly, I found it really hard to get into it. I had to kind of force myself to sit on my couch and not look at my phone.
I was nearly going to text you and say, Suzy, can we watch something else?
That's what I thought. But do you think, right? I think it's transparently for a much younger audience.
That's what I was thought. When I was watching, I actually thought if I was probably 10 years old or something, I would love it. I think it would be a great show to watch. But I think maybe it really does need to be aimed at a younger audience.
That is such a great number. You said 10 years old. Because I was thinking today, is it for young teenagers? But then some of the sexuality is pretty explicit.
Yeah, maybe without some of the sexuality in it. But just the story itself, I thought would have been good for definitely a younger audience. I found I didn't know where the show was going. I didn't understand its purpose.
I think it lacked the kind of authenticity. And a telltale sign, I thought, was a lot of the music that they used were really like old people music. It was like out era kind of, like was Paula Abdul playing. I'm like, who's making this show?
It didn't make sense. It didn't add up.
So it made me feel like it was like old people trying to make something that clearly is not their age group and trying to imagine what young people wanted to hear. I don't know. There are lots of problems with it, unfortunately, but I'm sure it will find its audience somehow.
And I do want to see, and I go on about it, and I will, as long as I've got a microphone, I want to see more diverse representation of gay men on the screen. I really do. I think we need to stop just doing stereotypical roles.
Well, the diversity is everyone else in the show, isn't it? There are great bisexual characters. There are great other gay men. It's only the lead character that's. Well, for me, I don't dislike the character. I dislike the actor. I feel like the actor has no charm and no experience. So it made the central character annoying for me. And he's annoying for me, I guess, in a different way than he has been for you.
Yeah, look, we're talking about Glamorous, which is streaming on Netflix. You can grab it. Look, what I found really interesting is, didn't it drop on the same day as And Just Like That?
Yeah.
So that's
it
right.
did.
Why would that happen?
Why
Didn't she choose this over appearing in the season?
Well, Kim Cattrall doesn't want to work with the other three actors from Sex and the City and just like that anymore.
So she won't at all. So will she appear as like like the ABBA avatars in London?
Well, it has been reported that she does a voiceover in this seasons and just like that. There's a phone call. Like last year she appeared as text messages, but this year apparently she does make a phone call and I think we hear her voice sometime in this year's season. But no one actually thinks that she's ever going to come back and work with the other three actors. There's just so much acrimony there.
We are talking about Glamorous on Netflix. Suzy Wrong, what have you got for us next week? My hands are shaking.
Swiping America. On Binge, it follows 4 attractive New Yorkers around the USA as they get set up with endless dates trying to find that one true love.
Oh, Swiping America on Binge. Thank you, Suzy.
Thank you. See you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
This is Joy Drive.